EPA Debate Meteorologist Bobby Martich here with your outlook for July 9th, 2025. Welcome to Wild Weather Wednesday, brought to you by Pure Sight and Sound. Today's outdoor forecast, well, they're leaving that to me. But the indoor forecast, that's a different story. At our favorite caveman Og's house, things are always shaking, thanks to subwoofers that rumble like boulders rolling down a mountain. Og loves his subwoofers, the richness in music, the booms in his favorite movies, The Fugitive, Independence Day, and of course, 1,000,000 years BC. But with so many choices, Og didn't know where to start, so he did what any evolved caveman would do. He called Ed at Pure Sight and Sound. And what did Ed do? He made it easy. Ed recommended the perfect subwoofers for Og, ones that fit his space, his budget, his prehistoric taste in movies, and yes, they work just as well outdoors as they do in Og's man cave. No more guesswork, just smooth, powerful sound that rocks the cave exactly the way Og likes it. Now Og's whole home, inside and out, is dialed in, and even Og's wife, Evelyn, approves. Pure Sight and Sound, where your home can sound as epic as it feels. Call Ed at the phone number above me, 570-992-2992, and rock out like Og. So yesterday we had a rocky day with a lot of thunderstorm activity across south central Pennsylvania, southeast PA, parts of central and southern New Jersey, parts of Delaware and Maryland. Exactly where we thought it was going to be. Didn't really do too much when you get up to about I-78, Lehigh Valley of northern New Jersey and points north. There was one rogue storm that went in northwest New Jersey before all of this nonsense started. It was a little bit earlier in the threat. But other than that, we really didn't have any severe reports until you get across the southern areas. That was a cold front boundary that was moving through yesterday, was responsible for all those severe reports, mostly wind reports, as we thought they were going to be. But as you get to today, there's a stalled boundary that's going to be sitting almost like this. So I'm just going to go right over I-95, just sitting like that. South and east of that boundary, it's the same cold front boundary. It's now stalled. That's why I did the dashed lines here. South and east of there is going to become the focus of some thunderstorms today that are going to be similar to yesterday, where you could have some severe weather yet again across those southern areas. And the Storm Prediction Center does have a slight risk for that area down here when you get to the I-95 corridor and point south. Now, it doesn't continue it up here in these areas, but newer guidance is suggesting this might need to be extended up to here, and we get rid of this stuff up here by I-78. I don't see, they have a marginal risk continuing up to I-78, which runs right like this. I don't see it getting up that far, not with the newer guidance that's running this evening. So I think Allentown, Harrisburg, you're probably out of it. And north of central New Jersey is out of it. I think when we get into today, the severe risk is just going to be across Maryland, southeast PA, and kind of like that, okay, and points south. But it's close enough, and that's what they have right now. Don't really have too much of a problem with this, except for the fact that I don't think anything's getting up in these areas here, but we'll see how that goes today. We'll get over the high-resolution rapid refresh today. It is going to start off as partly cloudy today. It's going to be partly cloudy, still humid, very warm. As you see above me, 86 to 90 is the temperature spread today. As I move this forward, though, when we get into the afternoon, look what happens. It's targeting areas close as that frontal boundary, which, again, is draped right down here. And it does get some storms here that have heavy rain producing lightning, and there could also be a wind threat with these as well in that slight risk area. It's going to go right into central New Jersey. Again, these areas that I highlighted across their maps went like this and stopped like that. I think you're going to have some areas up here they get into it in central New Jersey. You're still going to be under the gun for that today, according to the high-resolution rapid refresh that I'm showing you. But most of the activity is going to be south of there, southeast of I-95 as you go through the evening. And you see this comes in rather late, though. This is like a late afternoon start, and then it goes through the evening hours, the entirety of the evening, going all the way to up to about midnight or so, where we have the severe threat. And then some residual showers overnight. And when those showers occur, they could be occurring further northwest that didn't get into the storms earlier. Okay, so you have some showers continuing overnight and going into maybe the wee hours of the morning of Thursday before this pulls off. And then on Thursday, this boundary is still sitting there. So again, you have a focus of scattered showers and thunderstorms in that area on Thursday. Areas northwest, maybe just something isolated popping here and there. That's it. So there's really not a whole lot here on Thursday. As I keep going throughout the day, you just see some isolated activity up here. The concentration, again, is going to be I-95 and points southeast. So next 2 days are almost carbon copies of each other in that regard. But we will have partly cloudy skies. Otherwise, again, you could have a stray or isolated storm up here in in the interior areas both days. But both the days, when you get away from the Philadelphia metro and points further northwest, you have a better chance of seeing more in the way of sun and less in the way of any passing showers or storms. Okay, the NAM is doing the same general idea, and it's focusing a little bit further southeast than the HER has it, but see where this activity is here as we go through the evening. As again, this comes through the evening mostly and continues overnight. Has a few isolated showers up further north, and then we get into Thursday again, just isolated stuff further north, but the concentration is going to be down here by I-95, I think, here on Thursday as well. We'll have another look at Thursday as we get into the next forecast. They do have a marginal risk for the entire area, the entirety of the area here on Thursday, so we'll revisit that in the next update. But right now, it looks like where that boundary is going to become the focus. There in points southeast of it is going to be where the highest instability is, and that's where you're going to have the best chance for those heavy rainfall producing storms like we saw yesterday. Okay, so going forward from this, now we're going to get this boundary sitting here until about Friday. Here's Thursday. You still see it sitting right there, and that's where the focus is. Interior, not so much, except for something stray or isolated. When we get into Friday, this boundary finally starts moving away. But then you have these little impulses that come in here. There's really not much to it. There's just a little shortwave impulse coming through, and that could become the focus of an isolated thunderstorm here on Friday, maybe scattered in a few areas. It doesn't look like it's too big of a deal here on Friday, and the same deal here on Saturday. Another little impulse there. Another isolated thunderstorm, pop-up storm threat in the afternoon, and generally in a 2 to 8 window. Friday, Saturday are almost going to be carbon copies of each other as well, where you have a partly cloudy day, but then you have the opportunity for a pop-up storm between like 2 and 8 p.m. each day. Just heat of the day type stuff. Not really a strong forcing mechanism here to get anything more widespread going. So if you have anything going this weekend, the start of the weekend especially, you don't cancel any plans. I mean, this is something a quick storm rolls through for 20 minutes or something, and it's gone. Sun comes back out, that kind of thing. That's what we're dealing with here on Friday and Saturday most likely. Once we get to Sunday, we do have a cold front, an organized cold front moving toward the region. The timing is still a little bit undecided on this, and whether or not it gets here in time by end of day Sunday. But if it does, we are leaving that scattered PM thunderstorm possibility, especially for areas further northwest. Southeast areas might just remain dry here on Sunday, where areas up closer to Williamsport, Lock Haven, Harrisburg maybe get into this late day thunderstorm activity. The timing of this is still up in the air here because, again, the previous, if I go to the previous run here that ran just 6 hours before that, was a little bit faster with this front. So this can move around a little bit, and that's why we have scattered thunderstorms in the forecast here for Sunday, and then this front is going to be slow to move through again on Monday, which means our eastern areas will be under the gun for some scattered thunderstorms on Monday after the weekend. So we're going to continue to follow this throughout the week because this is a total mess. It really is. You have near daily chances for convection in different parts of the area. We just want to focus kind of one day at a time here. Today, we know what is pretty much going to happen is nearest that boundary in our southeastern areas and points southeast where you have that severe potential. And then awake of this, by the way, on Tuesday, this finally clears out. We're back to intervals of cloud and sun and temperatures near 90 again. During these, we have these near daily thunderstorm activity that we're going to be dealing with here, generally in the mid to upper 80s every single day. So near seasonal average for this time of year on all of those days. So nothing extreme. Today's probably the hottest day until we get to maybe early next week when this finally clears out. So, we're still looking at temperatures, 86, 87, 88 degrees pretty much every single day through this entire period. So it's not going to be a temperature issue. Humidity is going to be with us, of course, because we have thunderstorm activity in the vicinity, but it's not looking like a washout on any given day at this point. It did look like that on Thursday, or earlier this week for Thursday. See how that's now turning out when we get to Thursday. And you see where the boundary is. It's now down here. So you just have the focus further southeast. It just depends where that boundary is. And we're seeing now the boundary is a little bit further southeast than the models had it earlier in the week. And that's why we have the focus down here by I-95 for each of the next 2 days. I'm EPA meteorologist Bobby Martis. That is your outlook for July 9th, 2025. Have a great Wednesday.